Hi, I'm Sonia with Piney Woods Realty, and today I am doing an open house for my listing, so I wanted to make a video about what it takes to run a great open house. I started my business about 6 years ago, and I grew my business mainly through open houses for the first 2 years, and I love them. I used to do them twice a week, every single weekend for 2 years. So I'm going to show you a couple things, tips and tricks about how I set mine up, what I like to say, what I do for follow-up, and how I actually run these open houses, choose the open houses, and how I convert these clients. So be sure to subscribe and hope to see you at the end of this video. So here's the actual open house, and I put up a bunch of signs leading up, and then I have this flag. I used to have a bigger one, but I ended up misplacing it, so I had to get that one. But they do sell them on Amazon. I think I'll get the bigger one again. So I'm now going to set up for the open house. I've got some waters to get a couple more. And then I have these flyers that I'm gonna lay out for everybody. I have this sign-in sheet, which I ask everybody to sign in as soon as they come in, because that's the most important thing. And people often forget to sign in later, and then you just kind of wasted your time and you don't have those people's contact information. You can't follow up with them. You can't add them to your database. So you really need to make sure that you're completely ready to tell people to sign in. And then I've got some flyers. I always print out MLS flyers as well. And then I have this sheet. It's about my team and how much we've sold so far this year. This is a flyer. I also have some snacks, which I'm gonna take out. And then I've got this magazine that I was featured in that I am going to lay out for people to kind of peruse. And then of course my business cards. And I'm going to show you the final setup when I'm done. I like to get it to the house at least 10-15 minutes before the open house. It's better to be even earlier than that, but plan ahead for putting signs up because this neighborhood is very big, so signs take a while. So make sure you know how long it takes to set up signs. And I'll get some snacks out. But hopefully it's busy. Yesterday's was busy. And usually people don't eat the snacks, but I feel like the open house just looks better. So this is my setup. I always like to do it on like a counter, dining room table, like the first type of surface that people come to. So like I said, I've got my MLS sheet here, my flyer, my business cards, the sign-in sheet, and mine is just name, phone, email, when they're looking to move. I also have another flyer up here of the property, and sometimes I print out like an NPR sheet of neighborhood stats, but I got these professionally printed, so I didn't want to do like a crappy statistics sheet this time. And then I've got water bottles, some snacks, and then over here in the corner, as people are looking through the kitchen, I want them to kind of come and pause and learn about me and my team. And those numbers need to be updated, but luckily we're selling homes often, so have to update it often. I need to print it professionally as well. So I am just walking around the house, making sure all the lights are on, even these lamps. I think it helps show the home a lot better when the lamps are lit up too. And this house is so beautiful. I did the open house yesterday as well. We had about 10 people come. So I'm really hoping we have another busy, slammed open house. I already followed up with everybody from yesterday, and look at it. It's just stunning. Everybody that came in fell in love. And I can't blame them. So I'm gonna get these lights on. The other thing too that's important is this house has plantation shutters, so you wanna make sure all the shutters are open to let in maximum amount of light. And these sellers are wonderful because they actually turn most of these lights on for me. So it helps because this house is 3,600 square feet. So it's quite big to kind of walk around, make sure everything is on, do my whole setup, and put all the signs up. So I'm very grateful that they helped out. Walk in, I usually just have them sign in. I give them a quick few facts about the house. Usually people want to know upgrades. If it's an older home, they want to know age of roof, AC, electric, and plumbing. So be sure to ask the agent that. The other thing too is I always give people space to walk around. So I point them in the direction of the master and other bedrooms, and then I let them tour around after they've signed in. Then as they're leaving, I ask them what did they like about the house, what do they not like, and then I tell them about maybe a similar property in the neighborhood that might have those things that they are looking for if it's not this house. So you want to be prepared and research the neighborhood. You want to talk about amenities, things like that, know what other listings are out there. And if your home doesn't have a pool, maybe find another one that does have a pool because people tend to want something like that, or vice versa. So be sure to just check out the neighboring listings. That way you come across as an expert. The other most important thing is to also pre-market the open house. So you want to blast it on all social medias. So on the day of your open house, you want to go live on Instagram, live on Facebook, and live on TikTok, because people will get notifications that you're going live. And they will see that you're working, they'll see that you're out there, they'll ask you questions about the open house, and they might even come by and you might even get a buyer that way. But if you do that every week, people will start to notice that you are a hard worker and you're out and about every single weekend. So there are lots of benefits to open houses, and besides the obvious of potentially meeting a buyer or seller, you might also build a relationship with that particular agent, and that's very important. So I had a flipper that I used to do a lot of open houses for, and then he got too busy and he started being a builder, and now I list some of his new construction properties. So definitely be sure to build a relationship with those agents, and remember that there's opportunity everywhere and you never know what you might get out of doing open house. So once you get home from your open house, you have to follow up, and it's very important to do it as soon as you get home the day of. The way I follow up is I go through my whole sign-in sheet. I add everybody to my database, add everybody to the MLS, create new searches. Even if they're searches where I don't know anything about what they're looking for, just create the same criteria that the house that you were doing the open house at had. And then you want to send them a text and thank them for coming to the open house, say the actual address, and ask them if they got your email from the MLS. And you always want to end with a question so that they reply to you. You want to follow up with them in a couple days and ask them if you can update the criteria somehow, and then continue following up with them. Ask them if they want to see any other open houses, ask them if there's anything else that they had questions about with the listing, and just stay on top of them because they're meeting a ton of other agents. Now, the best form of following up with them is to send a video message and just do a personalized text message saying, "Thank you so much for coming to my open house. It was wonderful to meet you." These video messages will set you apart and they're gonna remember your face. And if you don't do that, then at least send like a digital business card that has a picture of you, because they're gonna forget who you are. So my open house is being wrapped up. So I'm walking around, turning off all of the lights that I turned on previously and making sure that all the doors are locked and nothing looks like it's in disarray. So putting signs up is my least favorite part of open houses, especially in this hot Florida weather. But I did have most people come to my open house today, which is about 10 people, because of these signs. You want to hit high traffic roads and people will see your signs and stop by, especially in communities where builders are building, because they'll go drive by model homes and then they'll see that there's an open house and they'll come check it out. So these I just got from Amazon, and what I would recommend you doing is putting them out a couple days before, like Friday, and in this section with marker or tape, writing down the address and that there's an upcoming open house. So write Saturday to Sunday and then the times. And for times, Saturdays is best 12 to 3, 12 to 2, and Sundays 1 to 3, 1 to 4, because people have church on Sundays. But if you put those signs up early, people will drive by, notice them, and they might come back the next day. So if you can add markers, if your sellers are okay with it, this isn't a vacant property, so I didn't want to put it out earlier, but you can do that, especially with vacant properties, and remind people that you're having the open house and they'll hopefully come back. So if you are interested in doing open houses and you have more questions, be sure to comment below, subscribe to my channel for more tips, and I'd be happy to answer your questions, and hopefully my next videos will help.